Have you ever been in like a sports bar and wondered how they get different games on all those screens?
Yeah, seamlessly, right. From just a couple of boxes in the back.
Exactly. Or maybe you're in a conference room trying to push a presentation from one display to another.
Or even at home, juggling a TV and a projector.
Right. There's usually some kind of hidden brain running the show. Today, we're going to dive into exactly that kind of system. We're focusing on a specific piece of hardware. The WolfPack Silver 1080p 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switch.
Now, it's true this particular model, it's listed as discontinued, but the information about it's actually a really great window into how this AV distribution tech works. The core ideas are still totally relevant, even if tech moves on. So our mission here is to pull out the key lessons about how these systems operate, what makes them tick.
Yeah, let's cut through the jargon, get to the core function, maybe find some surprising features, and see where this kind of signal hub really makes a difference in the real world. Okay, let's unpack this. So first things first, what exactly is a 4x4 HDMI matrix switch at its heart?
Okay, think of it like a really smart traffic cop for your video and audio.
A traffic cop, I like that.
Yeah. It takes signals from up to 4 different HDMI sources, could be anything, Blu-ray player, cable box, game console.
Sure.
And it can send those signals out to any of 4 different HDMI displays, TVs, projectors, monitors, whatever you've got. And the matrix part, that's where the magic really happens. It's not just a splitter,
Right.
showing the same thing everywhere.
That's basic.
And it's more than just a switch where you pick one input for one output. A matrix means, well, total flexibility.
How flexible?
Any single input can go to any single output. That's standard. But you can also send one input to all 4 outputs if you want.
Oh.
Or, this is the cool part, you can mix and match. Input 1 to output A, input 2 to output B and C, input 3 to output D. Any combination.
Wow, okay. That's the aha moment, isn't it? Total control.
Exactly. Imagine mapping different games to different TVs in that sports bar scenario. That's how they do it.
And just to be clear, this specific WolfPack Silver model we're using as our example, it handles 1080p resolution.
That's right. 1080p at 60 hertz, which is standard full HD. And it's also compatible with lower resolutions, so older sources should be fine too.
Got it. Smooth, clear picture for most HD content. So, if it's that flexible, how do you actually control it? How do you tell it where to send everything?
Good question. And this model, like many similar ones, offers a whole bunch of ways. It really depends on the setup and who's using it.
How, like what?
Well, you've got your classic IR remote control. Simple, familiar.
Like a TV remote. Makes sense.
Then there are physical buttons right there on the front of the box itself. And it has an LCD screen too, so you can see what you're doing locally.
Handy for quick changes or if the remote goes missing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then you step it up a notch with PC software for, more detailed configuration.
Okay.
And for the pros, there's an RS-232 port. That's a serial connection.
Right, for integrating into bigger control systems like Crestron or Control4.
Exactly. So you could have it controlled by a master touchscreen panel or an automation system. It uses a standard 9-pin connector, pin 2 for transmit, 3 for receive, 5 for ground foam. Pretty standard stuff for integrators.
And in today's world, I assume there are apps.
Oh yeah, there's a WABB UI, basically, a control panel you access through your web browser.
Nice. No software install needed there.
Right. And dedicated apps for both iOS and Android devices too, so you can control it from your phone or tablet.
And the source material actually had a tip about that, didn't it? About using a tablet.
It did. It suggested that for a better view and, frankly, an easier time managing everything, using the apps or the web interface on a tablet is probably better than trying to squint at it on a phone screen.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially if you're routing 4 inputs to 4 outputs.
Now let's dig a bit into the tech side, the stuff that makes it work reliably. HDCP compliance is a big one.
HDCP, high bandwidth digital content protection. The anti-copying tech, basically.
Exactly. It's version 1.4 in this case. And it's not just a checkbox feature, it's crucial. Without proper HDCP handling, you try to play a Blu-ray or protected stream, and poof, black screen.
Ugh, yeah, infuriating.
So this matrix has internal HDCP management. It handles the whole authentication handshake between the source device and the display. It basically makes sure the connection is secure so the content is allowed to play. It stops people intercepting the digital stream.
So less chance of those frustrating black screens. That alone is worth something.
Absolutely. And it also supports other key HDMI 1.4 specs.
Yeah.
Things like deep color.
For better, richer color.
Right. More vibrant picture. And lip sync, which is important. Make sure the audio stays perfectly timed with the video.
Oh yeah, nothing worse than dialogue being slightly off from the actors' mouths.
Tell me about it. And for the audio side, it handles the good stuff HD lossless formats like Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio. So your sound quality isn't compromised either.
Nice. Okay, what about performance? Like, how fast does it switch? Is there lag?
Good points. The specs mention fast switching circuitry. They estimate the switching time changing from one source of routing to another at around 4 seconds.
4 seconds. Okay, not instant, but probably acceptable for most situations.
Yeah, it's typical for matrix switchers of this era. And bandwidth is solid, 340 megahertz, which translates to 10.2 gigabits per second.
Venti for 1080p 60. Right?
Oh, definitely. Along with a 165 megahertz pixel clock. It's designed to handle that 1080p signal going to multiple places without any noticeable degradation or lag. And the impedance, input and output, is 75 ohms, which is standard for video gear, helps maintain signal quality.
Okay, signal quality. That brings up cable length. Always a factor in setups. What are the limits here?
All right, the specs say it supports input HDMI cables up to about 15 feet. And output HDMI cables up to roughly 25 feet. That's assuming you're using decent quality cables, like the recommended AWG24 HDMI 1.4 type.
15 feet in, 25 feet out. That seems okay, but maybe a bit short for some bigger rooms or installs.
Exactly. And this is a really crucial point they make. That 25-foot output distance, that's the direct HDMI limit for this device.
So what if you need to go further, like across a large conference room or down a long hallway in a bar?
Then you need help. The product page explicitly says that for longer runs, you must use optional HDMI extenders, specifically mentioning HDMI to CT6 extenders, which they listed at about $75 at the time.
Ah, okay. So you can't just buy a super long HDMI cable and hope for the best past 25 feet.
Not reliably, no. The signal degrades. Using those extenders, which run the signal over standard network cable, is the recommended way to maintain quality over distance. It's a key planning consideration.
Definitely something to budget for and plan out if your displays aren't close to the switch. So, we've covered what it is, how you control it, the tech inside. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Where does this tech actually show up and make a difference?
Well, the list of places they suggest is pretty broad, which really shows how useful this kind of central control is.
Like where?
Obvious ones are sports bars, restaurants, casinos, places, juggling lots of screens and sources. But also bowling alleys, fitness centers, malls, even places of worship for displaying different things.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Then more technical or business environments, data centers, maybe for monitoring stations, gaming rooms definitely useful there, factories, conference rooms, schools.
Conference rooms and schools seem like prime candidates.
Absolutely, and of course home theaters. For people who are serious about their home setup, maybe with multiple displays or zones.
That's a really diverse range. It really hits home how common the need is to manage multiple video feeds.
It does. It solves a problem that exists in a lot more places than you might initially think.
Now, the source material also highlighted a few reasons that set it apart. What were those?
Yeah, a few things. They mentioned its small chassis size, which is always nice for fitting it into racks or cabinets.
Space saving is good.
The ability to save and recall preset scenes, that's actually really useful.
How so?
Imagine setting up specific input-output configurations you use all the time, like game day preset in a bar or presentation mode in a conference room. You just hit one button to recall that whole setup instantly.
That's a huge time saver. Very practical.
Definitely. It also mentioned closed caption pass-through, which is important for accessibility.
Good.
And maybe a unique selling point for this particular vendor, HDTV Supply, was the offer of free lifetime telephone, chat, text T, and email tech support.
Wow, lifetime support. That's unusual these days.
It is. That could be a pretty big deal if you run into issues down the line.
For sure. And just to put the specific 4x4 model in context, this isn't the only type of matrix switch out there, right?
Oh, not at all. This technology scales up. You can find 8x8 matrix switches, 16x16, even larger for really complex installations.
More inputs, more outputs.
Exactly. And of course, technology marches on. While this one is 1080p, you now commonly see 4K capable matrix switches handling higher resolutions and newer HDMI standards like HDMI 2.0 or 2.1, supporting features like HDR. It's all part of the same family, just evolving.
It really seems like having a dedicated HDMI matrix switch just offers so much more control and polish than trying to patch things together with simple cables or splitters.
It really does. It's that central intelligence that makes complex AV setups actually manageable and look professional, or just work smoothly in your home.
It orchestrates the whole thing.
Precisely. And, if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. This core idea of matrix switching,
Uh-huh.
taking specific inputs and routing them intelligently to specific outputs based on need.
Yeah.
That concept applies way beyond just HDMI signals, doesn't it? Think about it. What other complex systems do you interact with every day that are essentially doing the same thing?
That's interesting. Like routing resources or information.
Exactly. Where information or resources from multiple sources need to be directed precisely to multiple destinations. Are there other matrix systems running things behind the scenes in your life that you maybe haven't even recognized as such?
That's a fascinating thought to leave folks with. What other hidden matrix systems are out there, quietly directing traffic in our world? Something to ponder.